Hello, Nick Grimshawe here from Beautiful Summer Morning, and today we're talking about a mindful invitation to flow. Be the conduit, not the container. And I'm really excited about this presentation. What you're going to discover is why mindfulness isn't about containment, but flow. And some of this is new ideas, new inspiration that I've received from some of the reading I've been doing on mindfulness. You'll also learn how to release the trap of the container, what that is, and the power of becoming a conduit, not a vessel. So let's get into this. This is what started this whole journey on being a conduit and mindfulness, if we think of it as being a flow. And these words are from a quote that I found in Mark Nepo's The Endless Practice. To be poured into without becoming full, and to pour out without becoming empty. What this really is about a flow, a constant pouring in and a pouring out. And if we can learn to live our life this way, we are living more and more in the state of mindfulness. So what is the trap of the container? Is holding on to emotions too long. Labeling ourselves with rigid identities, and archiving our experiences, trying to preserve moments which rather than releasing them. So let's just go back over those. Holding on to emotions too long. Can you think of an emotion that you've held on to? A lot of people, there's anger, frustration, resentment, all kinds of emotions that we tuck inside. And they basically are in storage within us. When we label ourselves with rigid identities, I'm not an artist, I'm totally useless at art, or I'm a teacher and that defines you. A lot of people define themselves through a sexual identity like gay or straight or bi. All of these things are labels that limit who we are, and they're rigid, so they're in a box. This is who I am, that's not going to change. And when you're in that mindset, really change isn't available to you. And then archiving experiences is trying to live in an experience rather than be in the experience that's happening right now. So what is the freedom of the conduit? To be mindful is to be a conduit. A conduit does not cling, it allows. We're talking about flowing. So if we allow our emotions to pass through, teaching us but not trapping us. So instead of having that anger all crunched up in a little box inside of you, you experience the anger as it's happening and just let it flow through. Don't stop it. Don't try to hold on to it. Allow it to flow through. Be the conduit. Soften our identities, becoming a dance between who we were and who we are becoming. And when you think about that, if we're rigid and we're this thing. And by the time I think we're 25, I think it's in that area Joe Dispenza talks about, we have become mainly habits and automatic responses. And when we're in that state, we can't really grow spiritually or personally. We have to let go of what we were and move into what we are becoming. And to live our experiences fully in this moment. So whatever is happening, we can't change what's happening in the moment, but we can decide how we're going to react to what's happening in that moment. And so if it's joy and bliss, we allow it to flow through us. Everything is constantly changing. If it's anger, we let it flow through us. If it's disappointment, or like for me the other day, it was frustration. I had to let the frustration flow through. So flow, if we think about flow as power, and all power depends on flow. So the moment you stop flowing, you close up, you put yourself in that container, and now nothing can happen. You're stuck in a situation in the past. You're stuck in a emotion. And you see people that are like angry all the time. They're stuck in that box. They're not allowing the anger to flow through. And sometimes we're afraid of allowing our emotions to flow through. And that happened to me, I know, when I first started to meditate. One of the big things was finding this pool of anger, and I wanted to deny it because I didn't think I was an angry person. But here in meditation, there's this big yucky pool of anger, and I had to let it flow out, and it took a while for all that anger to flow out of me. But my instinct was to hold it aside in a box, which is what I have been doing. So if you think about power, and you think about in this example, the wind turbines, the air is moving through the turbines. The water or the tides are moving through the generators. Rivers carve valleys. That's the power of flow. And when we have that flow, we have spiritual circulation. Being mindful keeps us open as a corridor to aliveness. We are more alive when we're flowing, when we're in the moment. And some people think that by allowing or just accepting, we are being passive or detached. But most of you have experienced that moment of fully coming into that brilliant crystal moment of coming fully into mindfulness, and you know it's not a passive feeling. It's a rush of gratitude and bliss coming up and through us and flowing out. And that's the spiritual circulation. It comes in and flows out. And as you see, presence is circulation, openness, permeability, liveness. So when we think of flow, it's not holding things in. It's a movement. It's not storage like in a box, as I've been talking about. It's circulation. things are coming in and going out. And I know this sounds a little repetitive, but I want you to get that idea that to really come fully into the present, you are going to be in this flow, this massive flow out and in. You're accepting what's coming at you and releasing it as well, not holding on to any particular moment. And that's living mindfully. Now, if you want a journaling prompt, and I really recommend doing some thinking about this, and all you need is a blank piece of paper. And that's the one thing I'm really adamant about, is when you're journaling to use blank paper. Free yourself from those lines that we were taught to crunch ourselves into. Where in your life do you feel boxed in right now? Think about that. Write about that. And write it. It doesn't have to be linear writing either. Escape this linearness. Sketch, doodle, map it out, do a mind map, whatever it is that's going to spark you or to go deeper into that question. And then ask, how can I let life move through me more freely? Because that's our challenge. Our challenge is to allow life to flow through us more freely. Now, one of the ways to keep the flow alive, if you've found this interesting and you want to learn more about this subject or more about mindfulness, inspiration, positive affirmations, gratitude, all those tools that help us flow, please subscribe to our Sunday Love newsletter and our community. And in the show notes, there'll be a link for you to subscribe to our Sunday Love newsletter. Now, again, if you've enjoyed this video, I urge you, I hope you would give us a like, at the very least, a like, but a comment is awesome. Share with somebody else who you might think would benefit from this information, and subscribe. All of this helps us reach a larger audience with this message, we believe, uplifting message that we need more than ever in these crazy times we're living in. We need to be uplifted and inspired and feel that Spirit is with us in this moment. This has been a beautiful summer morning video presentation, and I really thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Dream big. Live inspired.